Hey, I'm Violet Gray, and I'm over here snacking and yakking with Big Ben Kennedy.
That's right. Violet Gray, a comedian I have known for my whole entire time, I think. The whole 25 years. I may have met you in 2000 or 2001 back in
hmm
beautiful Baltimore, Maryland, at a little upstairs comedy club and Shamrock Pub known as Winchester's Comedy Club.
Yeah.
Pour a little something. Winchester's. Miss you.
Yep. Mhm.
Andrea. But yeah, so I've known this person. I've known Violet forever, and it's so great to reconnect. This is actually the first time we have talked in maybe 15, 16 years or something. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that feels about right. Maybe
yeah,
15, 16 years.
and okay, so let's do that so I can explain something that is I'm noticing right now. Okay, so when I worked with you back in the day, you were not Violet Gray.
Correct.
You were just as much every bit of who you are, but you had a different name. And what was your name back when I worked with you?
My name, my birth name, I want to clarify that because there were people for years who didn't believe me.
Correct.
My name was Dorian Gray. That is the name I was born with.
Dorian Gray. And Dorian Gray, famously, is from the story about the man who never aged because he had a
Mhm.
picture that aged instead of him.
Correct.
And I say that to say this: change the name to Violet, you still don't age, damn it. Holy crap. I mean, you look as young as you always have. It's insane to me. I knew you were young. I mean, if you were legally allowed to get in there, and you're maybe only about 3 or 4 years younger than me,
That sounds about
maybe.
right. Yeah.
Um, then I see pictures of you when I reach out to you on Instagram. Which, by the way, follow her on Instagram, Chaotic Violet.
Correct.
Chaotic
You get to
Violet.
see all my weird nerd stuff.
Oh, it's so awesome. You've always been a weird nerd. Used
Yeah,
to
this
work
is
at
true.
Wizards of the Coast. Let me tell you a little backstory real quick. So my friends are very much, my personal friends are very much D&D nerds,
hmm
100%. And you got on the open mic stage at Winchester's Comedy Club one night, and it wasn't even like a joke or anything. Like, I think you just threw it away as like a bit, like you were just making a funny observation, or you said, man, life's sad when your eighth level mage is getting more action than you are, or something
Yeah.
like that. And I
hmm
swear to God, in that moment, you became my friend's favorite comic. They adored you. I was nothing. They were like, screw him and his, oh, we get high and we're funny. And no, it was just like, that was awesome. And then when they ran into you at Wizards of the Coast over in Arundel Mills and saw that you not only talk the talk, but you walk the walk, as
Yeah.
you were like teaching people about how to play, you know, uh,
Yeah.
Warhammer and D&D and all this stuff, they were like, wow, like that is awesome. And so to see you on
Yeah.
Instagram still living your nerd life, I absolutely love it, Violet. It's so awesome to see.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually have a few monsters published in one of the monster manuals of one of
Wow.
well, it's Pathfinder, which is sort of an
Okay.
offshoot of D&D. But I have a couple monsters published in that now, and now I do an all stand-up comics game of role playing game as a podcast. Lord help me. Um,
What program do you use? I mean, how do you pull it off?
so we have been using Riverside for a
Okay,
while.
that's what we're recording on right now, right? So you're familiar with Riverside.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
Okay.
Riverside.
I know you can do multiple people. So how many do you get on there at once?
So there's me who's the GM,
Right.
and then there's five other people.
Wow.
Yeah,
You got
and
six
so
going on. That's
mhm,
neat.
yep, and we for like 2 hours every week we do a game that I write and I voice act, and I design all the dungeons
It's
and
so
stuff.
cool.
Yeah,
I
a lot of
I
fun.
never was one to get into that. I mean I enjoyed it, don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
I loved watching it being played. Always do. My son's pretty into it.
Um,
But it I don't know why it like I would say eluded me. I don't know why it kind of didn't
I
stick with
can I
me.
can tell you why.
All right, talk to me.
It's because the GM is very important. So you know how you have comedians that you like more than others?
Of course.
Like you'll have one comedian and every joke they do, like that joke is on your wavelength. It's like
Yes.
yeah, so dungeon masters are the same way.
Okay.
And so and yeah, it's possible to appreciate, but if you're not like super into it, my theory is at least is you got to find the right GM.
Okay. So when you
Mhm.
find the right dungeon master, you find the right kind of director of ceremonies, the master
Yes.
of ceremonies,
Mhm.
then it's easy to just fall in.
Yeah, and also the people that you're playing with, because it is a very collaborative thing. The people that you're playing with, they also have to be cool and on the level too.
Yeah. I mean, it was with friends, and I'd have to say that a good bit of them were really fun to watch. But I think I was more I couldn't get into it. You're right. Maybe that's a case of I'm sorry to put my boy out there like that. If he watches this, I'm not going to say his name, but maybe you let me down, dude. Maybe it's your fault. He actually is a
But
published author. He's been doing some books. He has some very good books out right now.
yeah,
Um, he probably would do an amazing campaign now. He probably would crush it, with his imagination and
storytelling is a, and also we grow as people and our interests change as we grow.
well, that's true.
Also, I have things that I like that I didn't like back then, and vice versa. But
Mustard.
yeah,
No, I'm just joking. I'm
yeah.
joking. Like making something
I'm
so
very anti must down with my no
I was fucking down with mustard. Now I'm down with mustard. No, go
right
ahead.
exactly. But yeah, and part of it for me is like you said, I used to teach people how to play role playing games as a job, and so a lot of times people aren't like even if they are good GMs, they're not the greatest teachers,
Okay, yeah.
and yeah, that's also part of it. Yeah, you just got to get with the right group. Now, for some people, it is never going to be their thing, which is fine. People are always going to have different tastes. But I think for your average person, you just got to find the right group.
Got you. So on the comedian side of things, going back to how we largely knew each other, how has that how has that been treating you in the years since I've left home?
Let's see. Well, I've had I've had one TV credit.
Oh, really?
Yep. It was Night Train with Wyatt Cenac.
Okay.
I've gotten to do some. So I've done shows in VR, okay,
Okay.
on Oculus. So I did this one show.
You did a comedy show on Oculus?
Yes, they have Oculus
Nice.
comedy clubs now. So I did this one comedy show in VR, and the people I did the show with said, "We want to fly you up to Toronto to be part of this other show." So based on this show I did on the Oculus, they flew me up to Canada from Baltimore, put me up in a hotel and paid me, and it was insane.
That's just awesome. As you're talking to me, it seems like it's like the show, whenever I record these, they always kind of just work themselves out, as it were.
Hmm.
And you are in focus. You've blurred your background so as not to show your fine art in the background of naked people and stuff. I know what's going on in that
Oh
blur
yeah,
there.
of
I
course.
know,
Hmm.
Violet. But the Fisher's popcorn logo on that bag next to you keeps coming into focus and going out of focus. And it's
Oh
almost like,
yeah,
hey, acknowledge me, recognize
right.
me, want
Yes,
me.
Old Bay popcorn. They know
That's
what's up.
that's what you went with. Now, if you watch my show, viewers, you'll notice there's a big tub of it says Fisher's on there, and it's the Freddy glove is sitting on top of it, and it's kind of right up there on the second level of the background set. That is a giant tub of this that I got when I was in Ocean City a couple of summers ago, and God, it might have even been 3 or 4 at this point. And so I was like, "That's awesome," but we have not had it. We have not had it on this show yet. And so you said Old Bay popcorn, and I was like, well, do they like hers, or does somebody back home make an Old Bay like popcorn, like the crab chip, you know? And I was like, do you mean the Old Bay dusted caramel popcorn? You were like, yep. I'm like, done.
Heck yeah.
That is my thing. Because here's the thing. I had to order this online because we don't carry this around here, of course, here in Charleston, South Carolina. But, you know, had to get 2. So right now there's a bag home with my wife and kid, and they're enjoying the heck out of it too, because I couldn't just get one. But thank you for suggesting this. I mean, not to say I wouldn't eat this on my own, but I would have been waiting till I go to Ocean City next to have it again. And I didn't get it the last time I was at Ocean City. I went for Ocean's Calling Festival, and I kind of went for candies that time. I went to Candy Kitchen, and I went to, but Fisher's never. I don't think Fisher's ever kind of came around. I don't think or maybe I got a small bag. I think I got a small bag of it because we were flying, and I didn't know exactly what I could take, and I don't know the rules anymore and all.
Yeah. See, but I, on the other hand, still live in Maryland.
Yeah.
And so I just got this at the Giant.
Doesn't that just piss me off? Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but this is a staple of my role-playing game nights.
Okay, that's very cool too.
Yeah. So I still have friends come over. At my high point, I was running 3 separate games for these 3 separate groups a week.
Wow.
And so
now, is it a thing where like can it be a business? Can they pay you and
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There is a such thing called a professional dungeon master.
Okay.
And I do know that there are people who make a living that way. The person who is probably the most famous, or the group that is probably the most famous, is the cast of Critical Role.
I've heard of Critical Role. Yes, absolutely.
Yes, so Critical Role is basically a Dungeons and Dragons game where the dungeon master and everyone playing is a professional voice actor.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
I saw that. I don't know if it was my son who introduced me to it or somebody else back at an old job introduced me to Critical Role. Or it could be Rhett and Link. I think they had teamed up with them on something, Critical Role, because now they do Roll for Mythicality or Roll of Mythicality. They have their own little like thing on their Mythical Society, on their Patreon of sorts, the way they play D&D as well. And I haven't tuned into one of those yet, but yeah, it's like I said, I'm purely fascinated by it. Just maybe I need the right. Now earlier, were you saying GM?
Yes.
All right, so not DM.
Yes, so DM is specific to Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
GM is general.
Got you. General Master, Game
GM
Master?
is Game Master, DM is Dungeon Master.
Got you.
So GM is just more specific. Speaking of Critical Role, they have a cartoon called Vox Machina.
Yes. Well, I heard of Do Machina. Now, what's Vox Machina?
I believe that's what it's called.
Is it Do?
It is the cartoon series.
Okay. So maybe I'm getting it wrong. Why do I know Do?
Deus Ex Machina?
That's what I know. Okay, that's what I know. Sorry.
But yeah, Vox Machina was their cartoon show based on Critical Role. I came really close to being a writer for that.
Wow.
Yeah. So when they were developing it, some of those guys know Wyatt Cenac, who was on The Daily Show. And he had just recruited me for his show, Night Train, to be on that comedy showcase.
Right.
And they were telling him that they need a comedian who knew Dungeons and Dragons. And so he suggested me, and they had me submit some of my writings, and I submitted my writings, and they liked it. but they were like, we want to do like this sort of writers camp that takes like 30 days. And I couldn't take the 30 days off of my like day job
Oh, that's a
to go to
bummer.
yeah, to go to California to do that, which is too bad. I would have loved to have taken it, but
You know what, man? And it's like all these things. I'm such a Back to the Future nerd that whenever things like that happen, I'm like, well, that's another reason why I know I'll never find a time machine because I'd have fixed that. You know, like whenever I hear about things that like I want for others or things that I want for myself that didn't turn out, I'm like, well, that's proof I'll never have a time machine
yeah, yeah.
because
Well,
I would fix that. I would want that for you so bad. Just anybody, man, do a GoFundMe and be like, hey, support my apartment for 30 days. I got something I got to do.
right, right.
Well, next time, don't pass up an opportunity like that, Violet. You got to do it.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they say that they say that statistically the marker for success, even more so than talent, is tenacity.
That's true.
That people who keep at it are statistically more likely to succeed, even more so than people who have a lot of talent. Because if I guess if you have a lot of talent but you quit, then it doesn't matter.
Right, right. Well,
But yeah, yeah.
that's with this. Let's say that just on the tenacity or just on the longevity sake of things, this would almost be like successful just to the fact that it exists and it's reliable and it's always around. So
Yeah.
if enough people pick it up and drop it and come back to it again, you still have a
Hmm.
consistent audience. So that's what I'm shooting
Absolutely.
for is longevity and just telling
Yep.
myself how much does the studio cost to rent for 2 years? How much does all this cost for 2 years? I did all of the math and then I said, would
Hmm.
I be willing to pay that in actual cash to have a shot at this being my job and being able to retire from EMS and everything? I was like, I'd plunk that money down in a heartbeat.
Oh, sure.
And so if I'm
Hmm.
willing to lose it at once, doling it out over 2 years is not terrible. And that's it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think 2 years I might be able to, because it's like a restaurant or any other business you get into. Don't expect the ink to turn black for 2 years. If you're not invested
Hmm.
down for 2 years at least, then you're
Yeah.
gone. And that's with everything pretty much business wise. So I started thinking of a business aspect of this. I said 2 years, 100 episodes, 104, 100
Uh-huh.
episodes, 2 years. Then if nobody's watching, you just have a turd of a show.
Right, right. Well, we now also live in the age of the algorithm,
Yes.
and the algorithm rewards regularity.
That's what I'm starting to notice too. Yeah, my
Yes.
shorts, the shorts that I'm putting out for these episodes are climbing so fast.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Hmm.
like 1,000 within like the first 1,000 views within like the first like 2 hours of when I upload them. It's like amazing. But
Oh,
they're
wow.
recognizing me as something to put out there. I think.
Right, right. And so, yeah, from what I understand, when you when you are consistent, the algorithm on various platforms is more likely to show you to more people.
Got you. Well, if the
And
algorithm
so,
is listening, I love you, algorithm. I've always loved you. I loved you. I loved you when we called you Albert Algorithm. I will
yes.
always love you. Please be kind to me. Thank you. I'm actually branching out into food and beverage now here in town. I have a couple of food makers, a couple like food, and a couple of coffee shops just got with me. A local gym is going to come sit with me. I've already had like a vegan chef in here who we ate some of her vegan cookies.
Oh,
And
awesome.
so I'm crossing over into that too. So basically, I'm taking this into a Charleston and beyond, reaching out to my friends back home or anybody online, actually. I mean, I don't have to know the person, just in time, let that unfold.
Hmm.
But reaching out to people in the culture, like culture scene. Like right now, it's the
Hmm.
Charleston culture, it's food culture, it's performance culture. I just like culture and I
Hmm.
like passion. That is what I keep pitching to everybody. Come and talk about the things you're passionate about, because like that's what I'm attracted to. Are you a passionate
Right.
person? And you, whether it be you at Ren Fair, you
Yeah.
D&D, whatever it is, your pictures are just showing some of the most just passionate get-ups and costumes and face makeup, and I mean you are killing it.
Yeah, I have been going to some really interesting events. So one of the interesting things about Baltimore is I've lived here practically all my life, and I'm still finding out about really niche, weird subcultures. So I did a production with the Baltimore Rock Opera Society,
Okay.
and they did a pirate themed production. And the vocal director decided that he was going to take us to sea shanty night. And that's when I found out there is specifically a sea shanty subculture in Baltimore.
That's so wild. I didn't know that.
So, yeah, so we get there, and there's a bunch of guys there, and they're dressed like sailors, and they know all the songs, and they already know each other from sea shanty nights at other places in Maryland.
That's so neat.
Yeah, this was, of course, in Fells Point.
Oh, okay. Okay. So they're still keeping it harbor. They're still keeping it near water.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, like, it's kind of weird if you're just singing in an open field in the woods or something. But no, if you're going to be shanty, sea shanty.
Hmm.
But they don't get into like the pirate thing. They don't get into anything. Is that something different?
It is a little bit of a different thing. There for them, it's very much a musical scene,
Okay.
and they do dress like sailors, but they don't dress like pirates.
Right, 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 right. That's what I'm saying. When you said
They
sailors, I
would
knew what
look
you
like
meant.
what you would imagine a whaler to look like.
Okay.
More of the Captain Ahab sort of thing with the hat that Bluto would wear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that Bluto hat. I immediately knew what you were talking about. Oh, that's so cool. Um, so any other subcultures you know about? Can you give me the inside scoop? No, I just am wondering because you've always been plugged into something different than the rest of us. You know.
Yeah, so I've always been into like goth and industrial scenes. One inexplicable thing that the younger kids are doing now, I don't know if you've heard about this. At first, I thought it was just in Maryland, but it's apparently all over. Have you heard of the Shrek rave?
I have not.
Shrek raves are a thing, and they have these Shrek themed raves at various dance clubs, and they're always packed, and people come dressed in Shrek merchandise. I do not know how or why this has become such a major thing, but
Has that new Shrek movie come out yet?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, it's gonna pop
It's
off
gonna.
after that.
Well, I mean that might, but I think it's gonna bomb because have you seen it? It got too much of like the Pixar treatment. Have you seen what everybody looks like?
No.
Yeah, Zendaya is like the voice. Zendaya is the voice of the daughter, and the visuals doesn't look the same. I think one of the things we liked about Shrek was how imperfect it was.
Yeah, it
It
was definitely an artistic style.
Yes, it was its own artistic style. But if you look at this preview for, I guess it'd be Shrek 5.
Hmm.
Yeah, if you look for this preview or this like teaser for Shrek 5, it looks wrong. Their eyes are too close together.
Weird.
It looked weird. And I don't know if they're in the process of like fixing it, but like
Hmm.
I think we like the fact that like Snow White didn't look like Snow White. You know,
Right.
like the nobody looked like who they were supposed to be. They looked like storybook representations of who they were supposed to be. That was what made
Right.
Shrek fun.
Yeah. So, did you ever? It sounds like Did you ever see the reboot of RoboCop?
Yes, sadly, yes.
Yeah. The biggest problem was that like Detroit was basically a character in the original RoboCop.
Right,
It was like this dark, gritty city,
of course.
and the dirtiest parts of the new RoboCop seemed cleaner than the cleanest parts of
The
the old
original.
RoboCop. It was too crisp, it was too clean. Like they didn't have the original feel of the movie, the original like sort of dark cynicism.
Right,
And
and
it's
go ahead.
And I was just saying that this new Shrek sounds like it might suffer from the same issue.
I think that might be the case. I took my kids to New York. They had never seen New York City, and it was the
Hmm.
summer before my son was due to go to college, I believe, or it was like the was it Christmas break of his senior, whatever it was. And I took them to New York City, and particularly Times Square, and their dad got recruited into one of those breakdancing things where they were going to hop over us and all that stuff, and
Oh yeah,
pretty much they pulled me from the crowd and they made fun of me and they had me dance and they had me bend over and then they wound up not even using me because they couldn't clear me.
oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So they were just like, "Hey man," they were like, "Thank you so much." I said, "No problem," and I dipped out. But my daughter was like, "That's my dad. That's my dad. That's my dad." But I wanted them
yeah,
to see it because of what you said. New York City is a character in every production that takes place there.
yeah.
And I
Hmm.
tried to explain to the kids, like, you're going to see New York City in everything for the rest of your life, and particularly Times Square, in a lot of things. And I want to show
Hmm.
you that it's real, and it's a real place with real people and dirty streets and loud ass cars and a ton of horns. I want you to
Hmm.
see that it's like a real place, because a lot of people don't really shit on Times Square. They don't really shit on that part of Manhattan because it's its own character and everybody likes the bright lights and the shiny and ah. But I'm like, it's a real
Right,
place too, Like I didn't want you to think like the M&M store was created for this, for this movie. It
right,
exists, because I went into
yeah,
FAO, which was for, it was big in Big and Lost in New York. What you
right.
call it? Yeah, they used FAO for those movies, and I went in there when I was younger, and I was like, it's real, So I just wanted.
Yeah, it's kind of like how I don't know if you've ever heard British people talk about their experiences coming to the United States for the first time, but they are fascinated when they get here and they actually see red solo cups
Yes.
because and even like over in Europe when they have America themed parties, they actually order red solo cups from America because they see American movies and apparently we're the only people that have those red solo cups.
That's neat.
And so they get here and they're like, "Holy crap, those red solo cups are real."
And they're
And all
everywhere.
yeah, yeah. And also the yellow school buses.
That's true too, yeah.
Yeah, they would say like we'd always see them in movies, and it was so weird to come to America and just see like a real yellow school bus because they apparently don't have those over there either.
We went to
It's like, yeah,
Ireland 2 summers ago. And when we went to Ireland, we were at a mall in Dublin, and we went. There was a place called Munch Diddley's, and they
hmm,
sold American snacks and American foods.
oh
And
wow,
so they had a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese, and the same thing that you and I would buy for $1, and it was €6.
oh my god,
Right? They were like, I mean, they were really making us look like some exotic people, man. Like,
you
like they
know,
had a box, a bin or like a tub, that you screw off of Hershey cup miniatures, and it was like 45
hmm,
euro. For
damn,
Reese's peanut butter cup. Sorry, not Hershey Kiss. Reese's peanut butter cup miniatures for like 45 euro. I took pictures of this stuff because I couldn't believe it. And it was called
that's
Munch
crazy.
Diddleys, and they had like the thing on the wall that said "Keep calm and eat Takis." Instead
Hmm.
of like "Keep calm and carry on" or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, but it was weird because like I'm in there and I'm like, I mean, they got this variety pack, and they were just like, it's like 35 euro, and it's an American variety pack, and you could see in there, and it had like Funyuns and like
hmm,
all this stuff, and I'm like, wow, that is so crazy to think.
yeah. It's kind of like I remember when anime was still starting to become really popular
Yeah,
and Japanese culture was becoming really popular. There's this Japanese snack food called Pocky.
I know Pocky.
And
Yeah,
yeah, you know Pocky. It's like the long thin
chocolate
with
dip
the
sticks. Yeah.
yes, yes. So I would go to the mall when they had like the Suncoast Video Store or the Hot Topic,
Yes.
and they were selling Pocky in there for like $6 a box. And I used to laugh because I could go to an actual Asian grocery store and get that same box for like 250.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And it was just about like this is exactly because they had this general idea that like Japanese culture was getting big and like
Mm-hmm.
anime and stuff was getting big and all the anime. I do a lot of by the way, I do a lot of performance at anime conventions and board game conventions
That's
now.
cool too.
But
So a
people
lot
in
of
the
the things I
know,
see you is cosplay, your makeup and
some
your
of it, yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
So cosplay. So is there anybody like because I'm not really into that world? Is there anybody that you're going particularly as, or are you your own character? I know that's a possibility too.
Well, it depends. So sometimes like there's a picture online of me in like this black feather sort of costume, and that is the Raven Queen from the Dungeons and Dragons mythos. She's like the goddess of night.
Okay.
But some of the things I go to, like I'll go to the Renaissance Festival and I'll just be wearing my own garb. I actually have more Renaissance fair garb than I have regular clothes, and not in
Which
any
makes
way an
your job as a
exaggeration.
trial lawyer just so awkward. No, I'm just
Right. But I also go to like one of the big things here is fairy balls
okay.
with like fairy masquerade balls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I go to a lot of those and I'll
That's
be
cool.
like a fae costume. I'm one of the people they call for Halloween shows. I know that's hard to believe, but
And I mean, you just do you? I mean, well, do you do scary? Do you do skull? Do you do Day of the Dead? Do you do?
so
Because I would imagine what you do is still going to remain pretty because you're very beautiful and you have a ability when you do these things that I see online. You maintain this absolute beauty through it. So it's like, would you
so
do decaying skin or would you do like Lady Death?
so I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
You ever heard of the Tooth Fairy?
Yes.
So one costume of mine was the Eye Fairy.
Oh,
So I had a bag of eyes. So I had this beautiful dress, and I had this bag of eyeballs on one side, and a bag of like chocolate quarters on the other side.
oh,
And I had an ice pick. So the idea was the eye fairy comes to you when you sleep, and takes one of your eyes and leaves a quarter under your pillow.
that is so good.
So I
That is
kind of
so
like to
good.
blend like like the stylish, the glamorous with
Yeah.
the macabre.
I like that a lot. Right, without outwardly being macabre. Like without being
Right.
like I said, like
Mhm.
say Lady Death, but you're being like, "Oh no, don't let the sweet taste fool you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll pluck your
I
eyeball
like
out in your
blending
sleep." You
the pretty.
know? Like,
Yeah, I like the pretty stuff and the murder.
there you go. That's perfect. And the murder. Oh, I love the word. Dude, there's a comedian I'm really happy about, Nate Bargatze, and I love the way he says murder. He goes
Yeah.
murder.
Murder.
Yeah, like so. What is the big club around there anymore in Baltimore? I mean, when I talked to Jared, he said he was playing up in PA, and so there were some places in Virginia. He's still in DC, but how is Baltimore's comedy scene? I know Tracy's at the Bowman has now become Hammer Jokes, and Mickey is
That's
running
correct.
that, and then
Yeah.
Magooby's is still around, right?
Yep. Magoobies is still around.
I never got to
I
play
haven't.
that place before I left. I mean, like it came about when I left.
Yeah, yeah. Because Magoobies started where Hammer Jokes was.
Okay. Oh, wait.
Yeah, before
Oh,
Hammer
Magooby's
Jokes.
was in Tracy's at the basement
Yes.
of the Bowman,
Yep. Hmm.
and then they moved to somewhere else.
And so that then they moved to where Magoobies is now, which used to be this big dinner theater.
Oh, okay, okay.
And yeah, so the big club is still Magoobies.
Magooby's Joke House.
Yeah. Other than that, the Baltimore comedy scene, like there's regular open mics and there's one-off comedy shows.
Okay.
So like I don't know if you're familiar with Don't Tell Comedy. Have you
We
ever
have
heard of
that
them?
here. We have that here, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we have that in Baltimore also.
And we do Next Stop as well.
Mhm.
Next Stop,
Um
which is Boston Comedy Club, they're little one nighters around. We have two different Next Stops. I've played one, and I'm about to play another one on New Year's Eve. So,
yeah.
and your episode comes out before then, so you heard it here first. New Year's Eve,
Yes.
Frothy Beard, Somerville, be there.
yeah. Do you remember the Auto Bar?
I do remember the Auto Bar. Actually, around the I opened for Todd Barry at the Auto Bar.
Yeah, yeah.
Around the corner from that on Eager Street was a club called Palomas, and I had
Mhm.
worked there as a bouncer for many years, and did comedy shows there and different things like that. So I know the Auto Bar there on Preston Street very well.
Yeah, so Mike Quinlan does a monthly show there called the Second Saturday Shit Show.
Love the name.
But yeah, and that has a good turnout. So there's kind of like there are some regular there's a all women and queer people show once a month at Peabody Arcade.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. Peabody Arcade's really cool. They have all these weird video games, and then you pay $10 and the whole room is free.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Because we have a high score
Yeah.
brewing here, which is a microbrewery. And then there's all the retro game consoles all around. So you can just sit
Mhm.
down and pop in a cartridge and play some Sega Genesis, and it's like, get out of here. It's such a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
But high score brewing,
exactly.
yeah.
Yep. But yeah, it's you got the big club that's Magoobies, and then you have these other venues that
Ah,
have regular comedy
Comedy
nights.
Factory still in Essex or Dundalk or whatever?
Yeah, Comedy Factory moved from where it was across the street from Winchester's.
Yeah. Burks.
Yeah, so they share space with a hotel if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, okay. I
But they're
talked to
still around.
Alabama. I want to have him on the show. I hadn't talked to him in years. I reached out to Alabama. I was like, do you do the booking for the Comedy Factory? He's like, no, but I do some one-nighters and stuff like that. And I was like, right on. So I'm going to get him on the show. He's somebody, man, I used to always really get along with pretty famously.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when he and I when I got roped into taking tickets at the door of Magoobies.
Oh, so yeah? You used to
Yeah.
you used to work there
Not
like,
Magoobies, at the Comedy Factory.
oh, yeah?
Yeah, one of my wildest comedy stories to date is from doing that.
Do tell.
Okay, so at one point I was working with Alabama at the Comedy Factory, and we had this one show where Mickey Coachella was headlining. And there was this woman in the front. She was like this very generously proportioned, loud woman who, and I bring that up because it's going to matter later, who was heckling loudly and she wouldn't shut up. And so Mickey Coachella just sort of went in on her, and the whole audience was laughing, and she was just getting more and more angry. And finally, she gets up and she lunges at him on the stage. But she did not make it all the way. Like her instep caught on the edge of the stage.
Yeah.
And so she just went boom and nearly lifted Mickey off his feet, like when she hit the stage. And so we get her out, and she is yelling and screaming and being a drunk person. And I'm trying to talk her down. And I don't know if you remember the comedian Larry Lancaster.
I do.
So Larry Lancaster and like one or two other comics are out there watching this. And while I'm trying to calm her down, they are roasting her to her face.
Oh, come
Like,
on,
and
guys.
so eventually I calm her down anyway. And she says, "Well, give me a kiss then." And I meant to say, "Ma'am, I don't think that would be appropriate," but it came out like, "Oh, hell no." And And so she decided that if I wasn't going to give her a kiss, she was going to take it. And she lunged at me like raw. And I lunged back and she mostly missed me, but she like caught me from like the knee down on one leg. And behind me was a one of those big trash cans full of used beer bottles from the night.
Yes, yes.
And so she collides with me. I fly back into that, and beer bottles are just like everywhere now in the lobby. And Dan Tracy, who
Oh
ran,
wow, I remember Dan Tracy.
he is filming on his cell phone and he can barely stand he's laughing so hard.
Dan used to like me a lot, and then I don't know what switched in that guy, but then he did not like me at all, and I don't know what I don't believe I did anything to him.
Hmm.
I don't know what it was. He used to book me for the improv, and then when he came over to be the booker at the Comedy Factory, he just would not book me,
Oh, it's
and
so weird.
and I was just like, damn, what did I do? But then when he was out, and it was Pete Eibner and Mickey's brother and all that stuff,
Yeah,
then I was
yeah.
getting booked there all the time. I mean, all the
Hmm.
time. So Dan just did not. I don't know how we fell out of love, man. I had no ill will towards that kid, but he just decided screw Ben, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean, it's been like what 15 years since I've heard of him.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know where
so
he
many of these
disappeared
people.
to.
Yeah. I haven't seen him associated with comedy for so long, but
So do you get a chance to play any of the clubs back home? Like, are you just like focusing on festival one nighters? Are you kind of doing your? Because I'll tell you what, for someone like you, carving out your own carving out your own niche. See, I've been trying to get back into the comedy thing. I just got back on stage. The engine's roaring
Mhm.
back up. I got a great, feature moving into headliner set. It came that muscle memory came back very quickly. Very quickly.
Good, good.
And but one of the things that I'm thinking is I'm meeting with people, I'm thinking about representation, finding different agents to put me in different clubs in different areas. And as we started trading stories from back in the day, I started realizing, man, I didn't miss that time. That struggling to get the gig, that bullshit,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
ego shit. And I was like, do I really want to do that? And then I kind
Hmm.
of just stopped and went, well, okay, how about I just like take all of that energy and I just focus it on this show, on Snackin' and
Hmm.
Yakkin'. And then after you develop a following in this place and that place and that place, then you go rent a small theater or a small hall in that place.
Yeah.
Pack it
Hmm.
out with everybody who knows your show, do maybe like a live version of this or something, and collect the lion's share of the money and put it back into the show. Like
Yep.
it's like maybe carving out your own path in this kind of time, the DIY or like the YouTube channel, social media
Mhm.
thing. Maybe it's just not, I guess, healthy or productive to kind of claw your way to the middle again. Maybe you just kind of fall back and make what you got going on personally really good, like what you do. Make that
Yeah.
brand, make that violet gray thing as popular as you can, and then you're getting flown up to Canada for a gig. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, one tool we have now that we didn't have then was social media to the extent that we have it now.
Yeah, so quickly accessible. Before it was like you had to sign in on a computer to MySpace to all that
Right,
stuff.
right.
Yeah, right.
So, for example, I met this comedian from Australia who is coming over to the United States, and he's packing out shows because he does mostly Dungeons and Dragons material. He's like a
Okay.
club comic, but he comes he comes to America and he's packing out these shows specifically because people who like Dungeons and Dragons have been seeing what he's doing on social media.
So cool.
And so he comes over here and his audience is like already like tailor made for him.
Right, right. And I think about that too. Like, if I could get a sponsor for the event, or if I could just get some free things from somebody and just give out snacks to the crowd. So
Mm-hmm.
while you're drinking, while you're enjoying a comedy show, you're also sitting there eating some Cheetos, watching me, and it's like, hey, you do the snacking, I'll do the yakking, and I do comedy. It
Mm-hmm.
all fits. And I'm like, well, let me just focus that effort on this because it'll be rewarded. Like I said, longevity, tenacity, carve out your niche, because I love to talk. I've always done so, and I like getting to know people. I like fishing good stories out of people, but also food is a very huge part of podcasting and television and YouTubing. So I thought, well,
Mm-hmm.
adding the snacks to it. I mean, we get a chance to talk about Old Bay dusted caramel popcorn, man, which is like
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard this statistic, but a large percent of the population actually eats food.
I heard about that. Something about
Yeah.
that. but
Mm-hmm.
but right now, the landscape of YouTube is largely political. Political YouTubing became a business of its own, and people
Oh
just
yeah.
want a piece of that pie. So people
Mm-hmm.
are creating political podcasts or political YouTube channels like every 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I just told myself, well, don't do that. let's do
Yeah.
let's do the alternative because politics is going to fall out of fashion. Everything about that kind of ebbs and flows, and I believe that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of going to fall a bit out of fashion in time because people are just going to get tired of hearing it.
Well,
You'll
well,
reach a
yeah, and
fatigue with it.
also, yeah, and also, people's anxiety about modern culture sort of ebbs and flows,
Right.
and so things that people are wanting to pay attention to will ebb and flow as they have more and less anxiety.
Right.
But I don't think people ever waver on snacks.
No, 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 right. Snacks and good conversation seem like they might
Yeah.
be okay, because you
Hmm.
get to know a new person through me, through my lens,
Hmm.
but also you get to know that new person and you may discover, I mean, gosh, of course I'm going to tag this episode with Dungeons and Dragons, with
Hmm.
anime, with all these different things that we've talked about. The tags are right there. And so somebody's looking it up and the critical role will be mentioned in the tags, and then they go,
Hmm.
what? And they discover you. And you find yourself some more people who like what you do, and that's
Hmm.
a wonderful thing because that's, I think, at the root of it all is like me wanting to help my friends out as much as them wanting to help me out because your success could lead into my success or vice versa. You could
Yeah,
blow up on
absolutely.
something that you do and then they go, "Did you know that she did an interview back in, such and such and it's wonderful. It's a great hour." And now they're
Hmm.
discovering me and they're like, "I actually like the big guy. He's kind of stupid, and then they start
Yeah.
watching other episodes. I
And
mean,
then they start watching more of your
it's
videos.
it's
Yeah.
all like we can all, while this is in its infancy and I'm just trying to carve out a niche, doing it with some of the most interesting people and some of the most passionate people for what they do that I can think of is gonna benefit us one way or another. It's gonna either lead to
Hmm.
my success is your success because of course, if this were to take off and I was somehow really popular, I'm gonna have you back because now I want you to
Yeah.
really get a piece of my audience. I always like to ask people like what's their short-term goal, what's their long-term, like where they see themselves in 5 years, or basically like what are you most passionate about now, and where do you see yourself with it in 5 years? Is kind of I think the thing that I tend to ask a lot of people. Like you're
Hmm.
passionate about your D&D thing, or your
Hmm.
games that you do, your online gaming and
Hmm.
stuff, and you're passionate about, but do you see that being like your business? Your thing, the thing that frees you from being a 9 to 5 drone like the rest of society.
Hmm. Well, funny you should mention that because I do want to. There are several avenues I want to take. One of them is I am designing a tabletop role playing game,
Excellent.
and I'm just entering the playtest phase of that. I want to cultivate more of a nerd audience and start traveling more,
Cool.
uh, but also I still live in the city of Baltimore. I work at a library. I want to like role playing games and board games have been such a huge part of my life.
Right.
So I want to spread that,
Yeah.
especially where I am, because they say that like youths, for example, are more likely to get in trouble if they don't have activities.
True.
And so I think it would be helpful, I think, just to sort of share my passion with other people and give people interests other than, say, hanging out on the
Correct. But
corner.
also, I mean, you have to consider the social aspect of being able, maybe at a young enough age, to find your people. That is
Absolutely.
largely the big deal with your development is finding your people and your good people, and you're a
Yeah.
perfect person to do it.
Yeah, that thank you. That is my goal, because I remember when I was a kid that it took me a while to find who my people were.
Right.
And I was like, if I can, I would like to make it easier for younger people.
Now, I don't think we can double back to this. I don't know how it would fit into the thing. So this is maybe just my personal curiosity, unless I can do some clever edit to tuck it back there. But when did you turn violet? Violet?
Well, I will say that I first started having the feelings that the need.
Correct.
I think I first started feeling it at about age 5.
Okay.
And that's another thing. Like, people look at trans people and they're like, "Oh, you're delusional and blah blah blah." But if trans people were delusional, wouldn't really feel the need to transition, because delusion is about cope.
Right.
It is easier to describe it as a need. Like, it's not a I believe I am this thing. It is more of a I need to live this way. And for me, I first started feeling the need at very early, and I hit it, and I started being open. So I feel like I came out several times. So I came out to immediate people I knew, then I came out to like the comedy scene.
Okay.
Um, and I think that was probably the first time I performed as Violet. I think that was probably 10 years ago, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe like 13 or so.
Wow.
Um,
So I left. I
Jim
left too
my
soon.
Yeah. But yeah, so
And Jim
that
Meyer,
was
Jimmy Too Bad. Yeah. Jim
yeah,
Meyer.
Jim Myers. He had a comedy show, a regular comedy show at the Golden West in Hamden,
Okay.
in for those of you who don't know, it's a Baltimore neighborhood.
It is
And
where the Hun. It basically, if you've ever seen a John Waters movie, typically it seems like it takes place in and around Hamden. The high,
yeah, in
the
fact,
high
there's a
beehive hairdo and the
yeah,
yeah.
in fact, where I got this is a supermarket in the area, and I occasionally see John Waters walking around,
That's so cool.
just like shopping.
Yep.
And at his comedy night is when I first did my first thing as Violet Gray. And it was interesting because I was like, I'm going to address this on stage. So I rewrote like my whole set basically.
Right. You had good set too with the poetry and with the different things you used to
Oh,
do.
yeah,
I
yeah.
loved your set. Your set was a lot of fun, and you were very. You weren't effeminate. You were just soft spoken and you were sweet. But I would not have. I don't even know if I would have necessarily even thought you were gay or anything. I wouldn't have assigned that to you because you were just a
Yeah.
sweetie. And
I was just, I was always sort of introverted, and I sort of worked with that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I never told you this, but the first time I did stand up was at a place called Courtney's.
I do
And
remember Courtney's.
so Courtney's was an Ethiopian restaurant, and I would go up there to complete silence, and they wouldn't laugh at anything until I did my poem.
Yes.
And then I came to Winchester's for the first time. You were hosting,
I was the open mic
and
host. Yes.
yeah, and so I go there and I have a pretty decent set.
Hmm.
And I talked to some other comics afterwards, and they were like, "Hey, we really liked your set. We thought you were pretty funny, but we've never seen you before." And I said, "Oh, that's because I've only done stand up at Courtney's." And they were like, "Oh God, that is like the roughest club in Baltimore."
Way to cut your teeth.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sort of thankful for that now
That is,
because
yeah. I mean, we were super supportive of each other in the days of the Winchesters thing. I mean, we
yeah,
really were. I really feel like as far as an open mic scene that I could have been born out of as a comic, that was a good one. We really were
yeah,
very supportive of each other, and we really genuinely liked each other and looked out for each other and kept up with each other when we would do gigs and we would be on gigs because you and I did that place in like White Marsh or
yeah,
whatever. And I hadn't seen you in a while, and we just everything always kept coming back around for all of us, and it was so great to see each
yeah.
other.
I decided that if I ever wrote a sitcom, it would be called Open Mic Night, and it would basically be about Winchesters. Like, I don't remember I don't know if you I don't know if you've ever remembered this, but one time at Winchesters, it was a debate that started between two comics whether when you teabag someone, are you the person that squats or the person that's on their back? And two comics were disagreeing about who was the teabagger. And then as new people from Winchester's came in for the open mic night, we got embroiled in this debate, and there were like these two
Right?
sides.
Are you if you're welcoming the tea bag, like
Are you teabagging, or is the person squatting performing the act of
right,
teabagging?
because teabagging being suggestive verb, a verb saying
Yes.
ing like the act of doing the tea bag,
Right.
but yeah, it takes two people, and so the person willing to be, it was like if you dip the tea bag in your own cup of
Right.
tea,
It's
your own
like
cup
the
of hot
act of
water.
receiving.
Right.
But like and so
So you're
and
doing
so
both. The act of teabagging, in the literal sense, is you're doing both. So you're
right. But
actively bringing that into the hot water. So if you're
yeah.
welcoming
Yeah.
it into the hot water, as it were, then aren't you? Yeah, that's it. See, we would have had so much fun with that debate.
Yeah. It was very
I'm very curious minded about that
Seinfeld-esque.
shit too. Like I love a good debate.
Yeah. It was very Seinfeld-esque because
There's your pilot right there.
yeah,
Your
exactly.
pilot is the
But
whole
yeah.
teabagging debate.
But our experience at the Winchester open mic night is what if I ever wrote a sitcom, it would be about like people who meet and become regulars at this open mic comedy night.
Oh, that's so great. Just make me the owner of the place. Just a little cameo in like episodes here and there. I'd be like the Louis De Palma from Taxi. I'd just be like I'd float in and out and it'd be like that grizzled old bastard. You know,
I'm 100% serious when I say I would do that.
yeah. I mean, I just float in and like anybody who would see be like, oh my god, that's Big Ben Kennedy. What a holy shit. That's so wild. He's running the Winchesters. It's like that makes so much sense because he was the open mic host there for so long. Like.
Right.
Well, we're going to get on out of here, but Violet, I hope all of your dreams. I hope your dreams of touring around with some D&D stuff, your writing, your comedy, your cosplaying, your everything. The Oculus comic of the century. I don't know, whatever you're going to plan to do. I hope that it all works out for you. Like I said, Chaotic Violet on Instagram. She has got photos and little video clips, and I mean, she's a sight to behold in more ways than one. It sounds like I'm flirting. I might be. I'm sorry. I am a flirt by nature. But no, I really, really, really hope that that life continues to be good for you, and please don't be a stranger ever. And if you have something big that happens for you, Violet, you come back here and you tell me about it.
Absolutely.
You have to. You come back on the show. I don't care if it happens tomorrow. You'll be a back-to-back episode. That's how fast I'd want you back here the second you got some really good news to talk about. But even if that doesn't happen, I'll have you back soon enough. And it was so great to reconnect with you. Thank you for remembering me. That's so funny to say, right?
Oh, of course.
That's so funny to say. I was like, you do know this is big. I reached out to you under the Snackin Yakkin thing. I was like, you do know this is Ben Kennedy, right? And you were like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what everybody remembers, man. I can't assume.
Essential to my formative comedy years.
Oh,
So
that's really sweet of you to say. So, and I'll tell all my friends to tune into this episode to see the one, the only dungeon master, game master, comedian, their favorite comedian, Violet Gray. Thank you for hanging out and snacking and yakking with me today.
thank you so much for having me. This was a blast.
And everybody, that's it. We're going to get on out of here, but take care of yourselves and bye.
Thank you for watching another episode of Snackin Yakkin. If you haven't done so, like, subscribe, and follow. Also, hit up the social media. And don't forget about the Patreon, just $5 a month. And we'll see you back here next week to do some more Snackin and Yakkin.